Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Then with pronouns.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna all.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my pranams to you.
Krishna, Ramya,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Then with pronouns.
Hare Krishna. We're requesting everyone, if you can, to please turn on your cameras so we can see everyone's faces. How is everyone feeling today? Day 4 of our Bhisma Panchaka Challenge.
Energetic Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, yay, that's good. Shivani Mataji put hearts.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
And how is the fasting going as well?
Mataji, I took the water fasting. Actually.
Oh, wow. Haribol.
Haribol Mataji. So, didn't feel any hunger, nothing. Thank you for your competition link, which I got it.
Dandavad.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, I'm seeing some on the chat box. Everyone's feeling great, amazing, energetic. Really happy to hear that. Krishna is definitely showering his mercy and blessings on all of us. And I don't know if it's part of the manual, I don't remember, but we can have sugarcane juice. And
Yes,
we also
Mataji.
okay.
Yes, in the first challenge, they have that.
Oh, okay, so I put it. I was not sure if I put it. Every time I'm having a Gita Bhavan, I'm thinking, oh, like I should tell all the devotees that they can eat this as well.
Yes, Mataji. Those who are doing level 1, they can.
Yes, mango is allowed, but there's not.
Yes, mango is allowed.
Yeah, so we don't get it.
Mataji, you give class all the time?
Well, we not regularly. We have our regular festival sangas like twice a month. We'll put everything up on the WhatsApp channel.
Okay, Mataji. So I have to be on the channel, or I have to take that channel all the time.
Yes, that's where we share all the information.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm happy. We're more than halfway done. I can't believe today I woke up and I was thinking, oh, like tomorrow's already the last day of the challenge. It went by so quickly. So tomorrow we'll be breaking fast at moonrise. So it's usually around like 5:30. And well, it depends, I guess, where you are. I'm speaking here in India. And then here in the Gita Bhavan in Mayapur, we break it with Panchagavya ingredients. So that's milk, ghee, yogurt, cow dung, and cow urine. It's just like a mixture. You just have to have a very little bit, and then you can break your fast. I have to ask for those devotees that are not able to get these ingredients what to do. So I'm just waiting to hear. I'm going to ask His Holiness Jayapataka Goswami, and then I'll write a message on the WhatsApp channel. Anyways, tomorrow we still have some time, so I'll put it there. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. And I'm really excited today for Her Grace Mother Urmila. She is amazing devotee, amazing teacher. You're all going to have a really wonderful time. Okay. So let's invoke the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'm just going to unmute you all.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Ram 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 Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Krishna, Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna, Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare
Ram 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Ram Hare
Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram
Now we're going to go and recite our Bhishma Stuti. So if you have your Srimad Bhagavatam, you can take it out. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, text 32 to 43. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Matirupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukam Upagate Kvachid Vihartum Prakritim Upeyushi Yadbhava Pravaha Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravara Ambharam Dadane Vapuralaka Kulavritananabjam Vijaya Sakera Tirastumena Vadya Yudhi Turaga Rajovidumra Vishvak Kachalulita Shamavarya Lankritasye Mamanishita Shared Vibhidyamana Tvachi Virasat Kavachestu Krishna Atma Sapadi Saki Vacho Nishamya Madhye Nija Parayor Balayoratam Niveshya Stitavati Para Sainika Yurakshna Hitavati Partasakeratir Mamastu Vyavahita Pritanamukam Nirikshya Svajana Vadad Vimukasya Dosha Buddhya Kumate Maharat Atma Vidyayayash Charanarati Paramasya Tasya Mestu Svanigamam Apahaya Mat Pratigyam Ritamadikartum Avaplutoratashta Dritarata Charanobhyayat Chaladgur Haririva Hantumibham Katotariya Shita Vishaka Hato Vishirnadhamsha Shataja Pariplutta Atatayino me Prasabam Abhisasara Madvadartam Sabhavatu me Bhagavan Gatir Mukunda Vijaya Rata Kutumba Atatotre Tritahaya Rashmini Tachri Ekshaniye Bhagavati Ratirastu me Mumurshor Yamiha Niriksha Hatagata Swarupam Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpito Rumana Kritam Anukritavatia Unmadanda Prakriti Magan Kila Yasya Gopavadva Munikanaripavarya Shankulenta Sadasi Yudhishtira Rajasuya Esham Arhanam Upapeda Ikshaniyo Mamadrishi Gochara Esha Viratma Tamimamaham ajam sharira bhajam hridi hridi dishtitam atmakalpitanam pratidrisham eva naikadarkam ekam samadhigatosmi vidutta bedamoha. Now our last two translations, we have Jeshwita and Gorangi. Can you read the translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. At the Rajasuya Yajna sacrifice performed by Maharaja Yudhishthira, there was the great assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord.
So when Yudhishthir Maharaj, like back then in those days, when Yudhishthir Maharaj to establish how he's the emperor of the world, they would send out like horses to all the kingdoms, and then either the kings would accept and surrender to Yudhishthir Maharaj's rule, or they would, if they wanted to challenge, and they would have to like fight. But everybody loved Yudhishthir Maharaj so much. So everybody, all the kings, they surrendered and accepted Yudhishthir Maharaj as an emperor. And these Rajasuya sacrifices, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport how it would cost hundreds and millions and billions of dollars to do these sacrifices. And I don't know how many years, but the sacrifice, like it takes up so much money, so much time. And I think it's like, I don't know how many years the sacrifice takes, but it's like a really big thing. And usually they choose the most senior to worship, whoever's in the assembly. So then Bhishma Dev is remembering how Lord Krishna was accepted and worshipped by everyone in this Rajasuya sacrifice. Okay, let's have Damodar Priyadarshan.
Mataji. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcendental the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental spectacles. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. So here we see how, Bhishma Dev is meditating on the Lord. So meditating on Krishna, it means meditating on his form, on his beauty, his lotus eyes, his curly locks of hair, how he has like gopi dots, his beautiful nose, his smile, his pearl-like teeth. So there's so, like, Krishna is just so beautiful. So that's one way of meditating. Also, meditating on Krishna can mean meditating on his activities. So here, Bhishma Dev is remembering, how Krishna was worshipped by everyone in the Rajasuya sacrifice. There's so many things that we can meditate on Krishna. That's why Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was explaining how important it is to hear more and more. Also meditating on Krishna's qualities. So his 64 qualities are described in detail in the Nectar of Devotion. It's such beautiful descriptions. And his pastimes. So let's have everyone write in the chat box like your favorite pastime of Krishna, or one of your favorite pastimes of Krishna. Like, Krishna lifting Govardhan Hill, Krishna stealing butter. The Agasura Lila, Damodar Lila, Krishna playing with his friends. Krishna stealing the gopis' clothes, Kalia Lila stealing butter, Krishna and the gopis in Radhakund, they have lotus flower fights. Gopashtami Lila. So there's so many amazing, beautiful pastimes of Krishna. So because we're a personal movement, right? When you say you love someone, then you also, when you think of the person that you love, you think about okay, you picture them in your mind, but then you also think about their qualities, or, maybe how they're so funny, or how, they're so peaceful, or how respectful they are, or how good friend they are, or how loving and caring they are. So like that, when the more we hear about Krishna, the more we will fall deeper in love with Krishna. And then, we can meditate on Krishna's name, form, pastimes. It's all Krishna is in his name, Krishna is in his pastimes. Also, Krishna has unlimited names. There's so many beautiful bhajans and kirtans. So Krishna is just so amazing and beautiful that there's so many ways to love him, so many ways to remember him, so many ways to serve him. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. And here, Bhishma Dev is describing how Krishna is in everyone's heart. He's in your heart, he's in my heart, he's in the hearts of animals, of the plants. So then you might think, like, why do we even need to pray? Like, if Krishna's in my heart and he knows everything, why do I need to pray? But actually, just, even if, like, your parents may know that you love them, but then it when you express to them that why you love them, it makes them happy. So then also, like, speaking to Krishna, praying to him, it makes us have a personal relationship with him, and it's inviting Krishna to be like to be a part of our lives every single day and every choice we make. So he loves it when we speak to him, and through prayer we can have a conversation with Krishna. While we're chanting, we're also connecting with Krishna. Okay, so now we'll sing Damodarashtakam before we have Mother Urmila speaking on the glories of Sadhu Sanga, of association of devotees. Okay, so let's... Karuna, do you want to lead? I see your hand is raised.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Yeah, you can start.
I start.
Yes.
Namami Skaram Sachit Ananda Kunda Lasat Kundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Yashoda Biolu Kaladavamanam Param Rishtamatyanta Tudutya Gopya Dudanta Muhurnetam Yukmam Rijantam Karambojayugmena sasankanetram Muhashvasakam patlirekakakanta Sitagrevam damodaram bhaktibadham Iti driksvalilabhir anandakunde Paghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam Tadiyeshitageshu bhaktarjitatvam Puna prematastam shatavriti vande Varam devamoksham na moksha vadimba Nachanyam jineham bare shadapiha Idam te vapurnata gopalabalam Sada me manasya virastam kimanye Idam te mukam bhojam atyantanile Ritam kuntale snigdhara keshagopya Muhushchumbitam bimbadakadharamir Manasya virastam alam lakshalabhai Namo deva damodar ananta vishnu Prasida prabho dukha jalabdimagnam Kripadrishti vishyati dinam batanu Grihane shamamagyam edakshidrishya Kuveratmajau badha mutyaiva yatvat Vayamochitau bhakti bhajokritau cha Tata prema bhaktim svakame prayacha Namokshe graho mesti damodareha Namaste Sudamne Spuradiptidhamne Vadiyodharaya Tha Vishvasya Dhamne Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nandalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Shri Radha Damodar Ki Jai.
Thank you, Karuna, for leading the Damodarashtakam. Let me just check if Urmila Mataji is here. Yes, she's here.
I'm here.
Just let me just pin you for everyone.
I'm sorry I don't have very good lighting here in my room.
Oh no, we can see you perfectly fine.
I wonder if maybe I turn this way.
I just wanted to introduce Urmila Mataji to all 250 of everyone who joined today. So Mother Urmila is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we're so fortunate to have her. She's one of my favorites. She's the best teacher ever. And she's a qualified teacher, PhD, but she's in the Shastric Advisory Council to the GBC. So she's an absolute scholar. And yeah, we're just so fortunate to have you here, Mataji. Thank you so much for giving us some.
I'm actually the chair of that council.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which makes me more the manager than a scholar, but anyway. We
But
already have all these hands raised. What are all these hands raised for?
Oh, okay, let me just clear. Maybe that was from before.
Okay. It confused me. Okay, so this is a group of kids, huh?
We have kids, we have adults, we have from all different backgrounds. Some are initiated, some are really new. Some of them are their first experience in Krishna consciousness. So we have
Oh,
a mixture of people joining.
okay, great. So today we're going to look at sadhu sanga. Yes,
Yes,
that's the idea.
yes.
All
So
right.
we've been these past 3 days, we discussed like the glories of chanting, hearing. So then today it's sadhu sanga.
Very nice. Well, I'm sure that you've all already been told that Srila Rupa Goswami, Hare Krishna, that Srila Rupa Goswami lists 64 items of bhakti. And then of those 64 items, he says that 5 of them are so powerful that even if you just do them a little bit, and even if you're just a beginner, that you can get transcendental spiritual realization. So that's very helpful. He says, these are all the things you can do, 64 things you can do. And some of those 64 things are really big categories that have all different things included in them. Like there's worship of the deity, but there's all these different things that are included in worship of the deity. It's not like one item. It's like a box with all these other things packed inside of it. So really, there's a lot more than 64 if you think about the things that are packed inside the other things. And then he says, but if you want to do something that's just really powerful, pick these 5. And this one is association with devotees. Of course, we also talk, Srila Rupa Goswami also talks about how association with devotees is step 2 in a person's spiritual life. Step 1 is saying, I believe that there's a God, but you're not doing anything, you're just believing. And step 2 is, let me change who my friends are. Let me make friends with people who also believe that there's a God, who also want to do something spiritual in their life. All right. Well, there's a story I like to tell, and this story can apply to associating with devotees. It can also apply to some other things. So there was this company that they had a factory. They were making things, and in their factory, they had just bought a new boiler. So the boiler makes water very hot. It's like a huge water heater, and it was powering the whole factory. So it was a very new water heater, and it stopped working. So this was a problem, and it was still under warranty. And so they got a lot of different repair people to come fix it, and nobody could fix it. And they were thinking, okay, well, let's just return this, and what should we do? And then finally the company said, well, this problem is not under the warranty. You're going to have to pay for it. And all these different people coming, trying to fix the machine. And meanwhile, like a week or two is going by and they can't get any work done. So finally, one of the vice presidents says, I know someone who can fix this machine. We'll have to pay him, but he's really expert. So they bring this guy there, and he has a little hammer, little hammer, and he's going around the boiler, and he's just hitting on the boiler, different places. And after he hits the boiler different places, then he finds one place and he goes, wham! Then the boiler starts to work. And he says, if the boiler is still working in 2 weeks, let me know, and I will tell you how much you have to pay me. So after 2 weeks, it was still working. And he sent them a bill for $5,000. That's a lot of money to fix a boiler. And so the president of the company says, well, okay, this is your bill for $5,000. Can you send me an itemized bill? That's where you list each thing separately that you have to pay for. And the repairman said, sure. And he said, hitting the boiler, that costs $5. Knowing where to hit the boiler, that costs $4,995. So the point of this story is knowing what's the thing you can work on that will just change your whole spiritual life. And again, there's many different answers to that question. And really, any of the 5 items of devotional service can be an answer to that question. At the same time, we can say that sadhu sanga is the thing. It is the most important thing in spiritual life. Srila Prabhupada says some really interesting things in the Nectar of Instruction book, which is the Upadesh Amrita of Srila Rupa Goswami. In verse 4, he says, in verse 4, Srila Rupa Goswami talks about how the devotees have loving exchanges. There's really 3 exchanges, and they go back and forth, so that makes 6. So you have 1 is prasadam, giving prasadam, receiving prasadam. 2 is gifts, giving gifts, receiving gifts. 3 is confidential talks, so speaking them and hearing them, and that makes 6. And Srila Prabhupada writes, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. That's a very interesting sentence, because we might think the International Society for Krishna Consciousness was established so people could chant Hare Krishna, or was established so people could read the Bhagavatam. And here he's saying it's established to have these loving exchanges between devotees. And also in that purport, Prabhupada says the life of the Krishna conscious society is nourished by these 6 loving exchanges. So nourish means to become healthy. Like when you eat good food, you are nourished. So this is also a really interesting statement. It's like the purpose of the Hare Krishna movement and what nourishes the Hare Krishna movement is these association between devotees. All right, so what benefits do we get out of association with devotees? So first of all, we have an example. You know, we can read in the Shastra, we can read in the scripture about what does it mean to be a pure devotee? What does it mean to be a self-realized soul? But without an example, it can be kind of hard. You know, how do you like imagine that? Well, what does your life look like? What do you do? How does it show up? And when you have devotees, I mean, that's devotees we read about in the scriptures, like we read about Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, but it's also devotees we see in our life now. You know, how are they living? How are they actually making Krishna consciousness a part of their life? And that's just extremely important. Without that, it's very, very difficult. We'll make all kinds of mistakes because we don't have an example. Then there is the fact that Krishna is very pleased when we please his devotees. This is natural, just like some of you here in this class are kids. And you know that if somebody gets you mad, that might make your parents more upset than if someone made them upset. You know, if somebody insults me, I'm not going to be as upset as if someone insults my kid. Right? If someone says I'm ugly, like, well, okay, whatever. But if someone says my kid is ugly, then I'm going to be like, how dare you insult my kid? And in the same way, if someone gives me a gift, I'm grateful, certainly. But if someone gives my child a gift, then I'm actually much more pleased. This is natural, and this is the way Krishna feels. Krishna feels much happier when we do things for his devotees than when we do things for him directly. And it's such an easy way to please Krishna. If we're going to say, well, our whole life should be to please God. How do I please God? I don't know. It seems like a really big, difficult thing. But, you know, if I can serve one of his devotees and facilitate one of his devotees, or maybe many of his devotees, so then that's kind of easy. Right? This bad air here is bothering my throat. Just take some little cough drops here. All right. So another way is that Krishna is really pleased when we cooperate with devotees, not just when we serve the devotees, but when we cooperate. There's a story in the Bhagavatam of these 10 brothers, and they were all working nicely together to serve the Lord. And Krishna was so pleased with that. He said, I'm so pleased by how you cooperated together. If any of you kids have brothers or sisters, you know your parents are upset when you're fighting, and they're really happy when you're getting along nicely. So Krishna feels the same. When he sees that we get along nicely with his other devotees, and we work with them, we work as a team, we work with respect, he's very happy. And if we fight among ourselves, he's very unhappy. And another reason why, another benefit we get from associating with devotees is we can practice for being in the spiritual world. The spiritual world, there's lots and lots and lots of devotees. I mean, in the spiritual world, everything is alive. The tables are devotees, the chair is a devotee, your cup is a devotee, everything's a devotee. And everybody works together with Krishna at the center. I mean, people do compete in a loving way to try to satisfy Krishna. But there is this mood of working together to serve Krishna. And in this world, we're supposed to be practicing for our real life, just like you might practice for a drama. But here we're practicing for real life. And when we work nicely with the devotees, that's our practice. Another benefit we get from associating with devotees is we get inspired. When we see, you know, oh, wow, this devotee is chanting so nicely, yesterday I went to a class where the devotee was talking about how he meditates on Krishna. And I got very inspired, and I thought, oh, I want to meditate on Krishna like that. I want to do what he's doing. He seems so happy. He's really has this happiness and this faith in his practice. Let me try this also. And he gave some specific ideas of things that he found helpful. And I thought, oh, I'm going to try that. Let me see how that works. And I tried it, and it was really helpful. We also get inspiration when we see how devotees are attached to Krishna. And this idea is very much given by all of our teachers, all of our acharyas, like Srila Rupa Goswami, that we become attached to Krishna when we see how other people are attached to Krishna. Right? We just see, wow, they're loving Krishna so much. How wonderful Krishna is. We hear from them. And this brings out our own feeling of attachment. Actually, although we all are naturally Krishna conscious beings, we have that within ourselves. It's our basic nature. There needs to be something to bring that out. There has to be something to encourage it. It's just like a person might have some natural musical talent or natural artistic talent. But if they're never around a musical instrument, or they're never around someone who sings, or they never have any drawing supplies, it's going to be hard for that talent to come out. So although we're all naturally in love with Krishna, when we're around other devotees who love Krishna, then our natural love can come out. And Srila Rupa Goswami explains this idea in his book, which Prabhupada translated as the Nectar Devotion, as something called vibhava. Vibhava is something that brings out our love, what brings out our attachment. You can think of it like in this world. If you're with a bunch of friends and they're all playing together, so your love for your friends is brought out by your friends' love for your friends. So if you see your friends playing together, it increases your desire to be with your friends. And this concept that a devotee, it brings this out in us, is such an important part. It's such an essential part of spiritual life, both in the beginning stages and in the very advanced stages. So devotees act as kind of this shelter, or this source of enthusiasm for us in our service. I mean, again, if you think about an ordinary example, so if you see somebody who's very enthusiastic in something, in music, in martial arts, or whatever, that brings out your own enthusiasm if it's something within you already. And then how do we associate with devotees? Where we talked about the 6 loving exchanges. So let's look at those a little bit, how we associate with devotees. So, of course, everywhere in the world, when people want to have some friendship, they eat together. They give each other something to eat. So, of course, we give each other prasadam. We give each other pure vegetarian food that's been offered to Krishna. But this should be done with love, with affection. So what does that mean? If I'm going to be serving you prasadam, and I'm going to do it with love, that means I should find out what you like to eat, because different people like to eat different things. Some people really like pineapple. Some people really don't like pineapple. Some people really like, bitter melon. Some people really don't like bitter melon. People have different tastes. So I find out from you, well, what do you like? And then I give you how much you like. I give you the kind of thing you like. I give you the amount that you like. I make sure that I put things nicely on a plate so that the sweet stuff isn't mixed up with the salty stuff. It's not all just running together and making a mess. So I serve you with respect. I serve you with love. I serve you with affection. I remember that I'm not just serving a plate. I'm serving a person, right? I had someone the other day giving me prasadam, and she was bringing over something, and I said, no, I don't want that. And she put it on my plate anyway. And then she brought something else, and I said, it was one of those plates that have like indentations in it, so that liquid things don't run all over the plate. So she brought out this really liquidy thing, and I said, oh, can you put it over there? And then she put it in another place on top of everything else. So that is not the way that we should serve. We should serve prasadam in a way that's pleasing to the person. And how should we receive prasadam? We should receive prasadam remembering that somebody cooked, somebody bought the food, somebody prepared the food, somebody cooked the food, somebody serving. We should remember that we're receiving from a person. We're not just getting food from a spoon. You know, any of you who spend some time in the kitchen, it's a lot of work. Thinking about what you're going to make, making sure you have the right ingredients, preparing everything, you know, making sure the kitchen's clean. And it's a lot of work to cook. And so we respect that. We respect the love of the person who cooked for us. Then we have giving gifts. So again, this is true for any loving relationship. People exchange gifts. So also between devotees. And it's a similar kind of thing to giving and receiving food. So if I'm going to give someone a gift, I want to find out, well, what do they like? What do they need? What would actually be helpful for them, right? One time on my son's birthday, this is once he was already an adult and he was married and he had kids, someone gave him like this big, a China dog sculpture that was painted blue. And I thought, why would you give this kind of gift to anybody? You know, what would they do with it? And especially he had little kids in the house, and they could break it. And he was very confused. And he's like, what am I supposed to do with this gift? So we want to give gifts to people that would be something that they would, at least that they would probably like. You know, that means learning something about them. So my son just recently had, that same son, he just recently had a birthday. It was his 50th birthday. My goodness, I have such an old son. And so I wanted to give him something he'd like. And I kept asking him, what would you like? What would you like? And he couldn't think of anything. And so then I asked one of his sons, what would your dad like? And they said, oh, he actually has a wish list for some things that he would like. And so I went to that list and I was able to get something that he would like and send it to him. So this is what we do with gifts. We try to give things that people like. And what about when we're receiving gifts? So I remember when I was 6 years old, it was my birthday, and somebody gave me some red stockings, like red tights. And somehow or other, maybe they had been on sale someplace. 5 other people gave me the same thing. So I had 6 pairs of red tights. And, you know, when I got the 6th pair, I actually started crying. And my mother took me out of the room. She took me in the back and she said, now just say thank you. We can always take these back to the store and get something else later. So when people give you gifts, even if it's something that you don't like and you can't use and you don't want, we should always thank the person and thank them for their care and their thought and their generosity, and show some gratitude to them. We can always turn around and give the gift to somebody else later on, or give it to charity, or we can always do something else with it if we really can't use it and don't want it. But always to be grateful to the giver. It's again, this kind of idea with giving and receiving prasadam, that we should remember always that it's a person we're giving to, and a person we're getting from. Then confidences. So being able to open up our mind and open up our heart to somebody, to tell them what we're really thinking, what we're really interested in, what questions we have. You know, maybe we have some really deep, kind of embarrassing questions even about spiritual life or about our own life. But we want to find someone that we feel comfortable with, that we can be honest with and really discuss what we're thinking and how we're feeling. And we should, again, remember that we're doing this with a person. We're giving them a kind of gift, a gift of part of ourself, a gift of our time, a gift of our care, a gift of our thought. And so when I open up my real self to somebody, and I really tell them, something, that's some question I have or what I'm thinking, I should make sure that I do it in such a way that will be good for them. I think about that person. I don't just want to come to somebody with my problems and just, dump my problems on them like they're a garbage can, but I really want to take care of them and bring them some questions in a way that will be helpful for them. And if somebody comes to me with their real questions and their real heart, then I want to show them respect. I want to make sure if there's something they ask me to keep a secret, that I'd actually keep it a secret. I mean, unless somebody would get hurt, that's different. Certain kinds of secrets you have to take care of because somebody will get hurt if you don't tell somebody. But except for those sort of things, we want to make sure if people ask us to keep something private, we keep it private, and that we show respect for the person. We don't say, oh, that's a stupid question, but we actually think about how this is something that is important to this person. It might not be important to me, or I might think the answer is just obvious. But I still want to show that I respect that person's time and care and thought and intelligence when hearing from them. So that when we discuss things with each other, that everybody feels happier, everybody feels spiritually uplifted. And of course, we can also work with devotees to do service for Krishna. That's really nice when we have some people that we like and we can work with, and we feel that we can have fun together and do something in Krishna service, whether we're doing a drama, whether we're doing a project, whatever we're doing, that we can do something that we really enjoy to please Krishna. And again, that's how we practice being in the spiritual world. So, does anybody have any questions or any discussion or anything that they would like to ask? We have a lot of hands up. Garangi Gandharika, you want to manage this?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Okay, Vedant. Let me unmute you. Okay.
Okay,
Mataji, then Mr. Nag.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I wanted to ask that as we know in this yoga, Krishna is the avatar of Krishna is the real Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality. So why we worship the avatars of Vishnu also?
Should we worship Vishnu also? Is that your question?
No. My question is that as Krishna this time is the real Krishna, but why we worship Lord Vishnu's avatar also? Like we worship Narsimdev and all. Like,
Oh,
So your question is, why don't we just worship Krishna?
yeah.
yes.
Uh-huh. Well, you can.
No,
You can.
because
You can. You can do that. That's allowed. But when we see all these other avatars of Krishna, we see how wonderful it is that Krishna takes these forms. We don't see them as different. So just like, your parents, when you get up on the stage and you're in a drama, they appreciate the role you're playing in the drama. Or they see you win an award at school, they appreciate that. They don't see you as a different person from the person who's at home. So when we sing the Sangha Varaha Ram Parasuram, we see them all as Krishna. There's Krishna taking these different roles and Krishna doing these activities. So there's one God. We don't really see that there's some kind of competition between Krishna and his different avatars. But if you like, you can just worship Krishna. You don't have to worship any of the avatars. That's also fine. Is that okay?
And also I had another question, may I?
Sure.
Mataji, I wanted to ask that my friends, like they are, if I be like a whole day, I sing bhajans or I chant on telecounter in front of them, they don't really notice me, they ignore me, and I feel that they are happy with their Maya only. So they don't get attracted that much to Krishna consciousness when I chant in front of them or sing the glories of Krishna. So how can I make them a devotee?
Well, I don't know if you can make anybody a devotee. I don't know if you can do that. But what you can do is you can be happy in Krishna consciousness and have them just see how happy you are in Krishna consciousness. That's all.
Okay.
And just, and that they may become interested just by seeing, oh, this person is so happy, they're so satisfied. I would like to be like that. But I don't think you can make anybody a devotee. Of course, you can give them prasadam.
Okay.
Is that all right? Okay, we have a question in the chat. What's the procedure of getting Diksha? How many years it takes to get Diksha? That's something to ask at your local temple. Okay, and that's something to ask for from the guru that you want to take Diksha. So each guru is going to have some different standards for that. Okay, we have another question. If we live far from devotees, how do we associate with them? Well, we're doing that right now over the internet. And of course, we have the Shastras where you can read about devotees and hear about devotees and associate them with them like that. Okay, someone else who has their hands raised, Gantavika Girihari? You want to,
Nitya Pandey.
okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, you said there are 6 exchanges between devotees in
Yes.
ISKCON. What are the last 3?
Well, there's really 3, but they go 2 ways, so they're considered 6. So there's prasadam. Giving prasadam is 1, getting prasadam is 2. Then there's gifts. Giving gifts is 3, getting gifts is 4. Then there's confidences. Speaking in confidence is 5, and hearing in confidence is 6.
Okay, Mataji. And Mataji, one more question I have. How to not get distracted, or how we can detach from this material world? Like, we don't have devotees around us. So then also how we can get detached from material world or material things?
But you always have Krishna wherever you are. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, Krishna is always there. He's there in the taste of water. He's there in the light of the sun. Now the sun's gone down, but he's always there. And you can meditate on Krishna, think about him. And the more you think about him and the more you read about him, the more attached you'll get to him. And the more attached you get to him, the less attached you'll be to material things.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let me take something more from the chat. Due to our contamination, we get envious instead of being inspired by others. Well, if you recognize that, look at the envy and say, oh, look, there's envy. How interesting. That's not me. I'm a soul. I'm just going to let that envy come and go. Don't get into the envy, and don't try to make it go away. Just leave it alone and don't identify with it. Okay, someone else who's raised their hand. Garangi, you want to call somebody else?
Shivani Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for this inspiring class, Mataji. I really appreciated the way, the perspective you presented, that we should stay in the material world and practice for the spiritual world. And also remember that we are not only giving to the person, but also receiving from the person. My question to you, Mataji, is while dealing with relationships, how can we keep Krishna in the center of all relationships? Like, for example, you had given the example of a parent and a child. If we deal with a child in a harsh way, the parent gets upset. So there are so many people in this world, but how can we deal with them with Krishna in the center? What do we view them as?
Okay. So you can view everybody in relationship to your spiritual life. So I like to think of it as we can think that I'm working for Krishna's company. I'm an employee in Krishna's company. And Krishna's company is selling love of God. It's selling prema, it's selling love. And everybody we interact with, either they also work for Krishna's company, maybe they're a colleague, maybe they're a supervisor, or maybe they're a customer, or maybe they're not yet a customer, maybe they're a potential customer. And think like that. How can I give love of God to this person? What can I do to share love of God somehow or other? Krishna says that one who's not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities is very dear to him. So I can try to be kind to people to make Krishna. But Krishna, are you watching? Are you watching? Of course he's watching. Are you watching how I deal with this person? Are you watching how I deal with this child? Are you watching how I deal with this, employee? Are you watching how I deal with this person at the shop? Let me deal with them in a way that's pleasing to you. And in this way, Krishna is always at the center. Okay, I have a question in the chat. What can I do when temple devotees make a comment on us badly or insult us? So this is the third verse of the Shikshastaka, that we respect others without caring for whether or not we are respected in return. Now, this is not easy. When people insult us, we tend to react as if somebody had actually hurt us. And this is described in the 11th canto by the Lord, that getting insulted by somebody can hurt more than physical pain. But we should remember that when people insult us or behave badly with us, it's a chance for us to remember that Krishna is our only shelter, and to be compassionate upon them. And remember that we might sometimes mistreat others. Sometimes we're not even aware of it, and that other people may sometimes be offended by us. How to forget somebody, we have this in the chat, how to forget someone who doesn't want us in their life. Well, instead of trying to forget them, just keep wishing them well. Whenever you think of them, just say, I wish you well, I wish you well, I wish you well. And then focus on Krishna. Trying to forget them is going to make them stay in your mind longer, actually. Okay, someone whose hand's raised. Gorangi, you want to call somebody else?
Hiranjivi? I'm asking to unmute. Okay, Yadav? Yadav Krishna?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for your classes. My mom wanted to ask you a question. Thank you for your time.
Hare Krishna
Okay.
Mataji, what I wanted to find out was when we are offering lamps, and we sometimes offer a lamp on behalf of someone who may left quite some time back, are we not maybe bringing back that Atma or something? By someone once said that to me, I should stop offering every year lamps in Kartik for them, because we kind of bring that soul back. So I just was
No.
bring that soul. I just was confused about that.
No. You mean if that soul is already in the spiritual world?
No, that we like bring that soul's what is it? They're saying like the pret is like now comes towards you, like you're not giving that soul the chance to like go back, because
Go
you
back
keep
where?
back on their journey. They still have to continue, because like I've been offering like almost 21 years for my dad, and they saying that I should stop doing that.
Why?
So I was so confused.
No. You can keep doing that. That wouldn't hurt him. That wherever he is, that will help him.
Okay. And I just wanted to know.
That will be for his benefit. No, keep doing it. That's very nice.
Okay. And Mataji, one more thing is, if we've done an Ekadasi fast, then on the actual Ekadasi, the next day, do we still like take 1 grain and then continue for the 5 days for Bhisma Panchaka Ekadasi, or we don't until the 5 days?
This is, well, if you do need to break Ekadasi. So it's good to take just 1 grain. And what you want to do for those 5 days, there's different kinds and levels of fast you can do for those 5 days. So that's I mean, when I did it one year, I took only fruits and roots with no salt or spices. So people do all different kinds of fasts for those 5 days. But yes, if you do need to break Ekadasi the next day, even with just 1 grain, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, let me just see what we have in the chat here. I'm not really going to talk about one of Prabhupada's pastimes right now. Okay. Question about Ekadasi. Is it true that if the blood occurs from any parts of body, such as fingers, and our fasting got break? No. How to avoid prajalpa? I don't know. It's all over the place in this world at the present time. Try to talk more about Krishna and try to have things more connected with Krishna. And then we'll be able to be so satisfied with that we won't be so interested in the prajalpa of this world. Okay, what services are allowed on periods? Prabhupada talks about how the Smarta Vidhi does not allow deity service and cooking. He said the Goswami Vidhi allows, but better not to do it. He said, but in any case, the service cannot be stopped for any reason. So that's the only instruction Srila Prabhupada gave on that. Okay, you want to call on someone else, Garangi?
Is Radha Sundari, I think I see Krishna Jivani. You have a question?
Yeah, I had a question. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my question was like, I was going to do like the fasting for Bhishma Panchak, but then I kept on forgetting like what I could eat and what I couldn't eat. And like, it's really hard to like not eat what I'm supposed to eat. And like, I keep on eating other things that I'm probably not supposed to eat. But like, I don't know how I'm supposed to like not eat them because they're so hard to like avoid it.
Well, sounds like you probably want to try again next year.
Yeah.
It's like it's not working for you this year. And as I said, there's different ways you can do fasts on these 5 days. I know people who do all different kinds of fasts on these 5 days. So it's not like there's just one kind of way of doing fasting. There's all different ways. But if you keep forgetting this year, we try again next year. It's okay.
But like, even if I don't forget, I know I have to do it. And then I just see like something that I'm like, oh, I'll just eat it. Maybe it's allowed anyway. And then I realize.
Then maybe wait a few more years until you're actually ready to do it. Okay? Okay.
Karuna, do you want to ask your question?
Oh, we have here a question. I'm confused about, what is this? What to do to earn a livelihood, how to choose a career. So we have a book about this called Career Dharma, The Natural Art of Work, and it's available from Golden Age Media in Delhi. It's also available on Amazon as a print book and as an electronic book. So it's called Career Dharma, The Natural Art of Work, and that should answer that question. Okay, someone has a question about their relationship with a boy, but I don't think that's something I can answer in a general class. What will happen if we desire Krishna and it gets fulfilled or not get fulfilled? If you desire Krishna, he will definitely get fulfilled. Don't worry, it may take some time. Okay, how can I continue the mood of devotion as now following in Kartik month throughout the year? Every year I'm doing Kartik Vrag and so nicely doing devotion. After that I am down, that mood goes. Please guide. Maybe you can think of 1 or 2 things that you can take from Kartik instead of trying to do everything you do in Kartik all year. Why don't you pick 1 or 2 things that you really like and you really think are a lot of fun and that you think you can probably keep up. Okay, Garangi, you want to call on somebody else?
Karuna, do you want to say your question about, you wrote in the comment.
Hare Krishna. How can I learn to appreciate the bhakti practice?
Okay. Was that a question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
How can I learn to appreciate this bhakti practice?
How can you learn to appreciate the bhakti practice? Is there any part of the bhakti practice that you like?
Japa.
You like japa?
Yeah.
Then do that. Then you'll naturally appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, somebody else?
Daksh Bajaj.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hi.
Mataji, in my home, I used to serve my deities and I used to offer prasadam. And my parents also have prasadam in the lunch, dinner, and breakfast. But sometimes they used to eat onion garlic. They doesn't eat non-veg and all, etc. Still, after eating for 2 years, they are not converted. Not even like they are 10% or 15%. They said you can do bhakti, but we will not do. Don't force us to do bhakti. What should I do now?
Well, this is like this question of how can I make others be devotees? Just go on your own path and be respectful.
Okay.
That's all, you know. And Prabhupada told my father said, you know, I'm coming to the temple to see Krishna, not to see my daughter. Just to see my daughter and son-in-law, not to see Krishna. And Prabhupada said, they are loving Krishna and you are loving them. So two things equal to the same thing are equal to each other. So you love Krishna, and if they love you, then that'll be good for them. But you can't make somebody else be a devotee. That's not possible. That will just frustrate you.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Let's call on Radhika Nama. She's putting in the chat that she really wants to ask her question. Garangi, can we call on her?
Yes, I just unmuted her.
Okay. Looks like she's still muted.
Radhika, you have to accept
Radhika
it.
Nama, you have to unmute yourself, dear, or else you can't ask your question.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. Actually, it's not a question, it's a problem in my spiritual life, which is that I am following all the Bhisma Panchaka rules and I'm doing seva and doing chanting very disciplined, but my parents won't allow me to take fast on Ekadashi because once a day I get sick on being fast and taking fast on Ekadashi. So that's why they say that please don't take fast on Ekadashi. Otherwise you will being sick again. So what can I do? Is there any big problem?
Well, can you do a fast where you just don't eat grains and beans and not do a complete fast?
Okay.
So you maybe take some simple thing. Maybe you can take just some fruits or some milk or something like that. So you're still following an Ekadasi fast, but you're making sure they don't worry about it.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Okay.
Which is, what is the difference between Tulsi Mala and Vaijanti Mala?
Oh, Vaijanti Mala is flowers. Tulsi is wood, we take from the Tulsi wood. Vaijanti Mala can mean anything you wear around your neck. It can mean a garland, a necklace. And Vaijanti means it's made out of flowers and it goes down to your knees. It's really long.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, we have a question from Rudra that what do I do? My parents are not allowing to go to a temple. Well, you
No, they take me to temple like whenever I want.
Oh, okay. But this is a question from Rudra. He said, my parents do not allow to go to temple. So then hopefully you can remember that Krishna is always in your heart. Okay, someone else who's raising their hand?
Manpreet Srivastav.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Panchan Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, my question is, the Bhagavad Gita cover, in the Bhagavad Gita cover, Krishna is putting his 2 fingers up. Is there any significance about this?
2 fingers?
Yes, Mataji.
You mean like this? That's 3 fingers.
No, just 2 fingers.
Can you show me a picture?
Yes, Mataji. Just a second.
Like maybe if you turn on your video, then you can show us.
Mataji, I'm not getting the option to turn.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what cover that is.
Oh, wait, let me try to show Mataji. This one? Is it visible, Mataji?
Okay, who am I talking to again now?
Let me pin her as
Yeah.
well. Oh, okay, like that.
Okay, let me make this bigger. Yeah, it's 1 finger. It's like this. It's not really 2.
No,
I mean,
Mataji, it's 2 fingers.
well, if you count, you're counting the thumb. He's got.
Yeah, I think she's counting the thumb as well.
Oh no, it does look. It actually looks kind of funny, huh? It looks like they're missing a finger.
Oh.
It looks like he only has 4 fingers in that picture and not 5. That's
No,
really
Mataji.
weird. Or he has 2 fingers up like this?
Yes, Mataji, just like that.
That's a mistake that the artist made. It should be like this, not like this. That's very strange. Interesting. Never noticed that before. You're really observant.
Also,
Wow.
she said that she read your commentary on Manasiksha.
Yes, Mataji, it's just amazing. Actually, I just started reading it from past 3 days, and I read your commentary. It's really amazing, Mataji.
Oh, thank you. Okay, you can unpin her, Garangi.
Here you go. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Okay, you have some other question here that we'd like to ask?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
Yes.
Rasa Maya Gopikesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Actually, I have doubt that am I audible, Mataji?
Yes.
Actually, my doubt is how to develop taste for reading Prabhupada books and how to read daily
Are there any in Prabhupada's books
without
that you
any
really like?
disturbance and without any breakage.
Without any breakage? Well, are you going to read like every minute you're awake?
Am I audible, Mataji?
Do you want to read? What do you mean without any breakage? You have to go to sleep.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, you have to go to sleep. So what do you mean without any break?
I think he's not online. I can't find him. Maybe his internet went out.
Okay, that happens. Okay, why don't we call on somebody else?
Okay, Ishika.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Danavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes.
Mataji, my question is actually from my childhood, I am fond of Krishna. I mean, my mother used to tell me stories about Krishna's pastime, especially the Bal Gopal Leelas and everything. And from that time also, from that time, I was fond of Krishna. Means I used to see him as my hero. I didn't know
Oh.
anything about. I didn't know anything about other means demigods and that, and I didn't even know that he's God. But after coming into bhakti, I get to know that Krishna is God and other is devatas uh, and all. So sometimes the problem came is when others use means others praise other devatas or other demigods. I kind of get offended and try to uh, how can I say, means I kind of get offended and try to say that no, that's not right, and it is kind of aparad, right? So how can I change that thing?
Why would you want to change that? That's a good thing.
No, means they really got very offended, you should respect all them. Okay, means I do respect them, but I don't. I can't see them as God, or I don't want to approach them in that way.
Well, you
So
should change that.
people got offended by that.
Well, you don't always have to say anything. You know, you don't have to argue with people or fight with people. You can just do the right thing yourself.
That is the problem when they are saying about Shiva or other demigods, like you have to do this, you have to do that. And I said, why I have to do that? I only can chant and I can approach to Krishna like that.
Well, in the Bhagavatam, it says that we can just say yes, 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 and then do what we know is right.
Okay, Mataji.
You don't have to argue with everybody. You just say yes, yes, very nice, and then you just do it. You don't say yes, I'll do it. You just say, very nice, thank you for your good advice, and then you do what you know is right. That's the instruction in the Bhagavatam.
Yes, Mataji. And what if they just kind of force us to follow the others' rituals and all those
How are they going to force
rituals?
you?
What, Mataji?
How are they going to force you?
Means I am 21 right now. Means few friends and they are as family members. You can say that they are like, you should do this, you should do that, this ritual, this thing and
But
that
how are they
thing.
going to force you? Were they going to come into your house and take your hand and force you?
No, they are like family members. Means family members themselves, like cousins and all. So they are like, you should do that, you should do that.
Yeah, but I don't
Few people
understand how
different.
still don't understand how they're going to force you.
They're kind of emotionally forced like that, you can say.
Are they taking your hand and forcing you?
No, not like that.
Then just say thank you for the good advice, and then just don't argue with them. Say yes, very good advice. Thank you. I appreciate your advice, and then you do what you know is right.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you very much. Mataji, one more question is that tomorrow we have to offer Java flower to Lord. So, is there any specific color? Means there are so many colors.
Oh, I have no
right?
idea.
It's
I have
white.
no idea. I'm not the right person to ask.
It's white Java flowers. They should be white.
Oh,
right.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Pritika Shrestha. Where I unmuted you. I mean, you have to accept it.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So my question is, I really like to watch the Little Krishna series.
Are you the one who wrote in the chat?
Yes.
I already answered you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry, I missed it, Mataji.
Okay. The answer is yes. Okay, somebody else?
I think Rasta Mayapur got his signal back on about Srila Prabhupada's books. I think.
Okay, what was the question about Prabhupada's books?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, how to develop a taste for reading Prabhupada books and how to read daily continuously without any break.
What do you mean continuously without any break? From the time you wake up till the time you go to bed?
I'm asking regarding
What do you
means
mean?
we should read daily Prabhupada books without any break like that. I'm asking.
What do you mean without any break? I don't understand. What do you mean without any break?
Break means one day not reading, one day reading like that. Rather than that, reading daily
Okay.
Prabhupada.
Do you have one of Prabhupada's books that you really like?
Yes, Mataji. I
What
like
book do you really like?
Teachings of Queen Kunti.
Okay. So I assume you eat every day, yes?
Mataji?
Do you eat every day?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. What about you read one page every day before you eat?
Okay. I did not understood.
Do you eat every day?
Yes, Mataji. I
Okay.
eat every day.
Okay. Can you read one page of teachings of Queen Kunti before you eat every day?
Yes, Mataji, I can read.
Okay. Well, that'll solve your problem.
Thank you, Mataji.
Just say, I'm not going to eat until I have read one page.
Okay.
Here's someone else in the chat asking me a question that I already answered. Okay. I think that we should go. I've been on for an hour. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mother Urmila, for blessing us with 1 hour of your time. I know you're so busy with so many projects, and we're so blessed to have you with us.
Okay, well, I feel very blessed to be here. This is such a wonderful group, so enthusiastic. Thank you for inviting me.
We'd love to have you again for another program.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to completing our project together. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, everyone. So tomorrow we have, so it's 6:30 now. Tomorrow we have another amazing speaker all the way from Sridham Mayapur, His Grace Chunanivas Prabhu. So he is personally trained by Srila Prabhupada how to do deity worship. So then he will be speaking on the topic of the glories of deity worship. So it's really exciting. Please join, please bring your friends along. And I'm wishing you good luck on tomorrow, the last day of the Bhisma Panchaka Challenge. I'll send a message on the WhatsApp channel how to break it with all those details, so you can check it out there. I just realized though that breaking fast is during the Sangha time. Wait, so I have to think. So hopefully you will still join, and you can have Prashadam later. Because Junanivas Prabhu is coming at 5:30. So then there we have to just do I think the moon will rise, I think around like 5:30. So then if it finishes at 6:30, we can do 1 hour extra of austerity of potatoes in our stomach, right? Okay, so just going to unmute everyone if to say Haribol.
Guru Maharaj is speaking, Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam. Thank you so much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Krishna Vishnu Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Always remember Krishna and never forget him.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Mataji.
Jai.
Jai.
Jai Gaura.